Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We have ourselves a Swoop Bike Riders Expansion unboxing we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at the Swoop Bike Riders, and we are going to unbox this. We'll show you the sprue, we'll show you the cards, show the unit card, the upgrade cards. We'll even put these together. If you are in the market for some Swoop Bike Riders, if you're new to Legion, if you're feeling out the Shadow Collective or Mercs, and want to see where you can use these guys, you can also use them with the Rebels or the Republic, of all places. It seems a little strange that they can work in the Republic, but hey, you know what? Sure thing. If you guys are new here to the channel, we are still giving away a lightsaber. You have just a little bit of time left to enter to win that. We're going to be announcing the winner for that in the next couple of days. So if you want to enter to win that lightsaber giveaway in the form of a $200 Amazon gift card, you can just leave a comment and make sure you are subscribed. Subscribers who leave comments on videos enter to win every time you leave a comment. So yeah, so make sure you do that. Also, big shout out to Luxury Playstyle. Be sure to head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Check out the amazing full metal tokens. If you use code Crabbok VIP, you are going to save 15% off your order. So head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Don't forget code Crabbok VIP. All right, so let's pull all of this good stuff out. One important thing to note, the bases on here are slightly larger than the bases included in the box. There was a little bit of a screw up with the photography and stuff, and AMG kind of talked about this, that there was, basically there was a miscommunication, and when they were preparing to do the box art and the live streams for these guys, they used the slightly larger base, which is usually seen on like the ATRT or the slightly larger base, but they were actually supposed to have the speeder bike base all along. So what you're getting in the box is the actual correct product. So if you notice that these bases don't quite look like they're the same size as what you see in the artwork, don't worry, these are the correct bases. And we have that verified through AMG, as well as other folks who've verified with me that that is absolutely correct. So no question about that. We do have a poster in here, which is really cool. Loving the art, loving that. It's one thing I could definitely see using these guys with the Rebels, in addition to Shadow Collective or whatever. But just because you get more aliens with the Rebel Alliance, I feel like you get a lot more aliens there, which is really cool. And so we've got our credits here, which is really cool. So there's thanks to everybody who helped bring this to life. Very cool stuff. And then you have a URL here, which you can scan, atomicmassgames.com/Star Wars Docs or SW-Docs. And that's going to get you to where the instructions are. My main criticism with packs like this that have been coming out lately is, and I suppose it was a cost-saving measure, but we don't get printed out instructions anymore. I don't like that. I don't like that. What I've had to go and do is I've had to go print my own out. I don't like that. And 10 times out of 10, I will vote for going back to the old way of actually including the instructions. They're all, I had to go print them out myself. I would rather not have to do that. So that's my thoughts. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the sprues, and then we'll look at the cards. And maybe we'll put some of these together. We've got two big sprues, and it looks like we've got rider options on this sprue and bike options on this sprue. So let's take a look at this one first. We've got some really cool what are these vibro pikes, force pikes maybe. Really cool. We've got 4 different ones. So you have a couple of different options. I think you have 2 different options for each rider based on just like looking at the instructions really quickly, which is really cool. We got a couple of different alien heads in there. I'm liking that. And of course we got the legs and all the extra little bits. And oh wow, we have quite a few alien heads. Got that one, this one, that one. Is this an alien head too, or is this this might just be like a little piece, like a shoulder pad or something like that? Sometimes when a head or a piece is cut in half, like this is somebody's head option too. We got a lot of different head options, which is really cool. I like that. I like the whole sculpting department. Yeah, because you're seeing like that head on that dude and that head on this guy, and then of course you got the Togruta head, and then I don't know who that is, but yeah, a lot of head options. Very fun. I gotta go with a Togruta though. Maybe a Deveronian. I think I'll go with a Deveronian right there. I like the Deveronians, and I like the Mandalorian episode with with the Deveronian. You know, really cool stuff. I don't know if I like the cone head as much, but you definitely have some options on how to build these dudes, which is going to be really, really fun. And then you have our two Swoop bikes. I think there are some variations on how to build the Swoops also, since Swoop bikes are a lot different than like a speeder bike, which the Imperial speeder bikes are kind of built with like off of an assembly line. Same thing with the Barks, right? The Barks for the Republic kind of built off of that assembly line, so they're going to kind of all be sort of standardized. Whereas Swoop bikes are, I think, more of like a biker gang where everybody kind of mods their own stuff and kind of customizes it. So you're gonna see a lot of little difference, like maybe different parts, different types of bars, different little aspects to the Swoops. I always think back to the Swoop from the toy that we got back in like the 90s from the Shadows of the Empire book that had a huge marketing thing. And so that was the first time I saw Swoops as a kid. And so I always really liked that, the whole Swoop Bike Rider and the Swoop Bike gangs and all of that stuff. So really cool stuff. We're going to put these together in a little bit, but first we got to take a look at these cards. All right, so first is the cardboard. We have ourselves here some regular tokens plus 3 different order tokens, depending if you want to use them as mercs or if you want to use them with rebels or the, of course, your Republic. And they are a support unit, so that's why you have 3 different tokens in with these guys. Next, we have the unit card. No upgrades, by the way. This is the first expansion in history to not have a single upgrade card. That's a little bit different. It's very interesting to me. So yeah, pretty surprising there. But yeah, no upgrades. They're a 70-point unit. They have a comm upgrade option if you happen to have other upgrades in your collection, which I'm sure you do. Of course, they're also eligible to go into the Rebels or the Republic. They're going to have cover 1, as you might expect from somebody going really fast. They're going to have speeder 1. You're going to have to do that compulsory move. They're speed 3, right? So a lot of similarities to the Imperial speeder so far. They do have independent aim 1 or dodge 1. So if you don't give them an order, which especially for a support you seldom do, they're going to get either an aim or a dodge. You're going to get to choose. They also have reinforcements, which is a really, really cool ability. Really cool ability. It lets you deploy them last, even if So it just means that you're going to be able to set them up in a position where your opponents aren't going to be able to out deploy you, unless of course they happen to have reinforcements. Also, there's going to be 2 minis in the unit. They have surge to hit, and then they have a misprint right here of critical to block. This is actually supposed to be surge to block, not critical to block. And I'm pointing that out just because if you're a newer player to the game, you might see this and think, wait, do they do something special if your opponent rolls criticals against them? When this was first previewed, there was initially some confusion over that. So there is an errata version of this out there, but the official printed version is supposed to be surge to block. So they have surge to hit and surge to block. They don't have any critical at all. The critical symbol should not even be there. That's supposed to just be completely gone and replaced with the surge symbol. They don't have a resilience because they are too small. They only have 3 health per mini, but that's a 6 health total for the unit. They have white defense die. They do have a heavy blaster pistol, which is going to be a red and a black, which isn't terrible if you consider that you do multiply the attacks by the number of people in the unit. So there are, of course, if you're going to shoot with both of them, you could roll 2 red and 2 black, which is not terrible. But one of the big draws for this unit is the overrun attack. Now, overrun attack is a little bit different. An overrun attack is something you can do when you pass through somebody. So you get to roll this attack. It doesn't count as an attack action. It's just a free attack that you can take, which is really cool. Now, the overrun attack has a couple of special things about it, which you may remember from the Radon Nasp, the Wookiee Fluttercraft expansion, in that, you don't get to even, you still get to do this attack. It's not considered a ranged attack or a melee attack. It's considered an overrun attack. It's its own separate type. You also will notice that because you have 2 minis in here, a lot of people think, well, my overrun will be 6 dice, and that's actually incorrect. Overrun is especially kind of noted in the rules reference guide as just being the one dice pool. So you're not going to add anything to that dice pool. But what you can do, you can still multiply the keywords. So if you have 2 bikers still alive, you'll actually have overrun 2. And the cool thing about that is that means that you can potentially perform 2 overrun attacks. If you compulsory move through somebody, you can overrun attack them. Then you can potentially move again. If you happen to move somebody else through somebody else, you can overrun attack them. Then you can potentially take your attack action and attack with a heavy blaster pistol. So in the dream setup, it is theoretically possible to get 3 attacks off in this particular thing, which is really, really cool. They've got the vibro axe there, and then the heavy blaster pistol, which is pretty cool. Just the back of the card, real quick, just features. So yeah. So overrun 1 means up to 1 overrun attack. Of course, if you have overrun 2, you can do up to 2 overrun attacks. Very cool little option for only 70 points. These should be fun to play around with. That's for sure. Let's maybe I'll try and put these guys together. All right, so I've got these guys put together right now. I haven't glued the riders on the seats yet. I'm just kind of sitting them on there because I may want to like paint them separately. But overall, these were fairly easy enough minis to put together. A little more time consuming than most Legion minis because there's a lot of pieces. Like this particular bike had like so many pieces with this undercarriage right here. It's like it's a little wild. It almost seems like it was unnecessary pieces. Like a lot of that stuff you're not even going to see when you're playing the game. But you know, I guess you know, since it's Star Wars, you kind of got to get it right. One thing I'll say is like these guys don't feel completely right on here. Like he's supposed to sit right, so his butt is like flat, but it doesn't like fully line up with the handle if I make him totally flat. So I kind of got to wiggle him a little bit, and I got to move this a little bit, and you know, so I'm like if I'm putting everything flat, I've got like a little bit of a space there. And then it's kind of similar with this dude. Like if I have him perfectly flat, the hand just doesn't exactly line up, and so then I kind of have to lean him forward and give him like like a gangster lean a little bit, you know, to make it line up. Which is, granted, it's possible I adjusted didn't have the handlebar at the right, because sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room when you're doing them. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I did it right. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys have had anybody who's put one of these together, if you noticed kind of some of the same difficulty. I mean, I can always put a little more cement on here and see if it'll still adjust a little bit more or not, or just make them lean. You know, there's definitely ways to do that. You know, it's just gonna be a little awkward because then you kind of can see part of the butt underneath. So maybe I put a little extra seat cushion on there with some green stuff or something like that. But if they're sitting perfect, the hands don't exactly line up for me. Again, might have just been something I did wrong. Not 100% sure, but it's definitely close enough that you can still basically see how they're going to look. I glued the bikes on the peg. I glued the pegs a little bit just behind the X, right? So I glued them right there so that the bike would be the most centered. If you're going to do this, also keep in mind that these pegs have one side that's a little flat to go into this hole, which is not a perfect circle. So line it up first, because otherwise you might, if you just glue it on blind, you may find that your bike is trying to like face this way when you lock it in. So boom, and then it kind of pushes in. So it'll spin around, spin, boop, there. Now it goes down a little bit more. So line that up before you finalize the peg's position. That's my advice to you. Can they? I wonder if they can flip flop. No, because they can't, because the handles are sculpted, so you can't just mix and match. I was gonna say, could we put like 2 guys on one bike? And he's like, "I'll ride with you anywhere, brother." That's right. We'll take these hills and this desert, and we'll just sail off into the sunset. Sail off? I can't even do funny things correctly. I don't know. Well, that's what happens when you try too hard. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out today. This has been our look at the Swoop Bike Riders. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you guys later. May the force be with you, and be excellent to each other. Live long and prosper. So say we all. Always wash your socks And goodbye there. Here's we have ourselves a Swoop Bike Riders I can't speak.